Morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to this podcast episode number 6, An Unexpected Lesson. Hello again. Welcome to the Life After Hurt podcast with yours truly, Nicole and Sweeney. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I can't believe we are in week 6 already of the podcast. Thank you for indulging me during this time and keeping up with your girl. I really do appreciate it. As you know, I always have to share my Auntie Chronicles with you guys. My third niece one day gave me a hug, and when she gave me a hug, she smelled me. And so she chuckles and says, "Auntie Cole, you smell like an auntie." And I looked at her and asked her, "What is that supposed to mean? What does an auntie smell like?" Apparently, aunties smell good, so it was a compliment, guys. Don't worry. She didn't say I stink or anything like that. Yes, she said I smell like an auntie. So if you are an auntie out there and your niece or your nephew tells you that you smell like an auntie, I guess take it as a compliment. So shout out to my third niece for giving me that compliment. All right, guys, before we get started with today's podcast episode, I want to shout out my international listeners. I am just so elated that I have people listening all over the country. So I want to give a shout out to Berlin, Denmark, France, Germany, Fredericksburg Capital Region, which is also in Denmark, and Zealand. I don't think I said Zealand. So if you guys are watching or listening to this podcast episode number 6, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been dedicated and consistent in listening. So I thank you. Blessings to you. All right, guys, let's get into today's podcast episode. So, the title of the episode today is An Unexpected Blessing. So, make sure if you have not listened to the previous podcast, you go back and listen because everything is connected. So, now Journey and her family, the Black family, is now staying in the motel. And because they are staying in the motel, they are trying to be as consistent as possible with their normal routine as if they were living in their own home. So Fridays, they will watch TGI Fridays. So any of you from who grew up in the 90s remember TGI Friday and the shows that they used to run during that time for families to watch together. The Black family did that. On Saturdays, Journey and her siblings would wake up and watch cartoons. One of the cartoons they would watch is Looney Tunes. And then on Sundays, they would play Nintendo. So that particular Sunday, after Papa Black dropped off Mama Black at the church, Journey and her siblings, as well as Papa Black, went back to the motel and they started playing Nintendo. That was a very popular game back in the 90s, and Journey and her siblings absolutely loved playing that game. So when Mama Black returned from the church service that morning or that afternoon, she received an unexpected blessing. Have you guys ever experienced in your life where you were just going about your day, living your life, minding your business, right, in a good way, and God just showed up for you? Those, I think, first of all of God's blessings are amazing and wonderful, but to get the blessings that you don't expect and even the blessings you may not even pray for, how awesome is that? So Mama Black returned back from church that afternoon, and she came in so excited, jumping for joy about the unexpected blessing that she received when she went to Grace and Mercy Baptist Church. And that blessing was, I'm not going to tell you guys. You have to go and get the book and read it. I don't want to spoil it for you. So make sure you grab a copy of my fiction novel, Life After Her, A Sister's Tale, off of my website at NicoleSweeney.org, and you can find out what the unexpected blessing was. You really, really want to know. So go and order your copy today or whenever you are listening to this podcast. So that is it for today's podcast episode. But in true form and fashion, I want to leave you all with an episode affirmation. And that is, attached to every battle, there is a blessing. We must believe that. Even if we don't see it yet, God will never leave you without a reward for your endurance. God will never leave you without a reward for your endurance. Hang in there. Whatever it is that you are going through, whatever it is that you are facing, whatever it is that you are asking God for, hang in there. There is a reward for your endurance. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast episode entitled An Unexpected Blessing. Make sure you engage and interact with me on my social media platforms at Nicole Sweeney. At Nicole N. Sweeney on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure you guys follow me, okay? I want to hear from you all. And go explore my website where you can go and grab a copy of your book so that you can find out what that blessing was. All right, guys, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're listening to this podcast episode. And remember that God is proud of you. All right, guys, take care. Bye.